You'll note that the U of N catalog is out there. Don, could you do show and tell? And the other piece of show and tell is Hans, who is right here, who is the one we give our information to that you want everybody to know about. We will continue to ponder, pray, and process the words that came to us this morning. It was just such a rich morning and gives us all so much to think about. And I don't know if you're like me, I'm saying, Lord, help me apply this word in the best way possible. We have tried during this time to be really prayerful throughout the time we've been planning this, to know what all God wanted on the program. And as you can tell, there's lots of blank spots because we keep saying, okay, Lord, what do you want? And then we're able to take longer for this, and we've tried not to cram things in. But we recognize that there were 3 ministries that the Lord clearly said he wanted to be highlighted that belong to all of us. Remember when I was speaking to you from the book on drift, it said it's important that as people who are a part of the mission that says true to itself, that they have an understanding of the whole. Well, this isn't the whole of the mission, but the 3 ministries that are being presented today belong to the whole of the mission. And I've had a real sense of joy and excitement in my heart as we hear about DTS, about the ships, and about university. So Maureen is going to be the one that starts, and we all love DTS, right? We know as DTS goes, so goes the mission, right? This is where we transfer the values, the vision, the heart. And so there, I want you to have an understanding about all that God has for us in this particular category, that we might apply it. Because, you know, like a farmer takes good care of the future seed, because that means they're going to have a harvest or not. Then we want to take good care of the seed. So welcome, Mo.
Thank you. Okay, so I don't do math very well, so, okay, it's 11:48 by my clock. Is that your clock, 11:48? Something like that? So that's almost 10 till, right? Okay, so then about 10 after I need to transition. Okay, good, we got it. Okay, and then Marcus will come up after and lead us on. So yes, the DTS is the heartbeat of our mission, the foundation of the mission. One of the things I want to make a comment on is in the last 4 years, I've done quite a bit of research as it relates to spiritual formation and discipleship to prepare to lead a master's degree track in the University of the Nations that are equipping our leaders to be better at discipling. And honestly, after reading and listening and praying and then even engaging with outside speakers that have come from Regent College or from, where did Chris Hall come from? Eastern University, Cherith Nordling, who is Dr. Fee's daughter, if you know Dr. Gordon Fee, she was just with us. Honestly, the conclusion is you couldn't design a better discipling formation process than what God has given us in the DTS. You couldn't design it. And even as I'm going through these studies, I'm learning language to describe why it is so formative, but in the end, we got it just simply because God spoke, right? And we did it, and he honored that and blessed it, right? So that's been just a fun highlight. Okay, so I do have a couple of things that I want to share regarding DTS, but I'm going to invite the International Core Team for the DTS Center up. And can that mind map that I gave Hans, that I hope you guys have up there, there we go, okay. So part of what we're going to do in my 20 minutes is we're going to commission the new international leadership of the DTS Center. And one of the reasons we need to do that here is the DTS Center is actually a network of men and women. We're a circle. Maybe I can start using that language. Actually, we're circles that are connected to circles that are connected to circles that are connected to circles. Come up, just come up behind me. And it is our, sorry, I'll explain that in a minute. It has been it has been in our heart from the very beginning. It has been in our heart from the very beginning that someone in our network knows the name of every DTS leader that makes a commitment for more than 1 year. That is our commitment to personally connect with the DTS world. Now, you know that DTS world is huge. And we made that commitment when it was Patty Lee and Darlene were the only two in the DTS Center. And then they recruited me in. So, okay, and then Dar, blessed me and said, okay, you and Patty, go build, right? And I want to tell a little bit of the story just to encourage us, given the season we're in, where God is inviting us to expand. So in about 2 years, we went from Patty and I to like 7 of us. And then in another year, we went from 7 to like 20. Now, part of what we did in there is Patty and I, does everybody know Patty Lee? Yeah, Patty Lee, okay? So she should be standing on this stage right next to me, okay? Everybody who knows the story of the DTS world, you know Patty is a complement to my gift, right? And especially in this part of the world, in Asia. This is her YWAM roots, right? Patty is with her folks at the moment. She's been there for months and months. She'll probably be there for another couple of months. And they're in their process of going home. And Patty's standing with them in the process. So if you think of Patty, you could pray for Patty, yeah? But what we did is because we're trying to build something global, we actually went to regional field conferences, like anywhere we could go to meet people and to see who the DTS people were, right? We did that. Secondly, we created events where we drew people together, where we could wait on God like we are here, where we could worship, where we could intercede, and then we could equip the DTS leaders that came, because that's where we discovered how people are gifted, how they're wired, and I began to see, I know how I can pull you in, and I know how you. So we went from 20, and then in 2 years' time, we added 40 more people. 20 more people, and then we're 40. And we never lost our sense of family. We were able to include, okay? Now, what you see up here this is according to our fields. And so there's a Middle East and Africa. We try to fit with the YWAM structure, but in the end, we went with where we have the strongest relationships, yeah? So Africa, Middle East, and the other person that should be up here with us is Pete Thompson. So Pete Thompson, all your Africans, you know who Pete is. Yeah, those of us who live in Africa. So again, one of the key leaders of the DTS Center. So Africa. Then down here you see Europe and Central Asia. That's just where our relationships are, Europe and Central Asia. And every person's name there is in the International DTS Center, and most of those people have a circle around them that is serving in their area, yeah? So Tony, for example, who's in Western Europe, she has a resource team. Wanda, who's in Eastern Europe, she has a resource team, and on it goes, yeah? So then you have Asia Pacific, and then you have North America, Canada, Central America, and the Caribbean, which is connected, it's the Americas, but this is a very big region of the world, very big field of the world, right? So all these circles here. Okay, now we look at that group, that's a very flat structure. We put our arms around the whole thing. We call that the International DTS Center teams. Maybe we're going to call them circles, And what we are we kind of are the leader of the circles, but we just call ourselves the International Coordinating Team, yeah? Now, I'm going to let some of these guys just share a few testimonies from what they have seen in the DTS world, okay? So in just a few months, these guys have led workshops in Bangladesh, in northern India. There'll be one in Brazil. These are where 100 or more people are coming to be equipped and trained, yeah? There's one going on in England now. There's, we got something going on in the Philippines. We just had a DTS Equip End in, where's Garth? I think it was, where was it? There you go. So, yeah, so we just had a DTS Equip there. So, I mean, this network is an active network pulling people in all the time. So, I want to introduce to you Carlina from Brazil. Okay. So, Carlina actually represents the DTS in the University of the Nations leadership team. So, the hat that I used to wear for this body, representing DTS in the university, is now on Carlina. Would you just share your testimony?
Okay, good morning. It's such a pleasure to be here with you. And I'm from Brazil, so I'll try to do my best with English, okay? For a few years, we have been praying for how we can make the DTS strong in the South America. We have different histories over there, different countries, but we are trying to figure out how we can be strong. And in the past April, we had the first South American DTS workshop, and it was powerful. Well, I do believe you had a breakthrough over there. We gathered together around 100 people, and since then we are more connected than before. And for me, it's such a joy to think I'm going to lead the MDM, Making Disciples Makers, next month. And we are receiving 12 students from other countries in South America. And they are coming to get equipped and also to multiply the training over there. So next year, I'm going to Chile to lead the same Making Disciples Makers over there. When I think about this, it's not just about a school, but it's about how we can train young DTS leaders and how they can start new things and help us to work in the multiplication piece. So I do believe we are getting more unit. When I hear everything we are living in these past few days, it's just about to dwell in God's presence and to be one. So when I think about this next MDM and about the things that are coming, I can just see how God's guiding us. So let's see how he's going to do this, but I am really excited about this time.
Some of these students that are coming to the program that Carla is leading, I mean, I was there in Peru at this workshop, right? These are some of the South America has amazing strength. I mean, it's amazing strength in their leadership and particularly in their youth. That's who was there. And I was so excited. When I got on the plane to leave, I'm flying out of Peru, and the Lord said, you know what? Your mantle is lifted. You have left South America in the hands. Now, Gilberto's not going to give a He's not going to give a testimony, but because then they'll be here for the rest of the morning if I give the mic to Gilberto, right? Now, but Gilberto and his wife, Gisara, these are our leaders that nurture all of South America in terms of our DTS Center and then our connections to the DTSs there in South America. So Gisara should be here as well, who is Gilberto's wife, yeah? So that's who Gilberto is, yeah? So he's like a brother to me. He's equal to me. He's been at YWAM longer than me, right? And so I love the fact that I've got, you know, brothers and sisters who can carry the DNA and entrust it to the next generation. Okay, so I think we'll have Elena, so come up forward. So Elena was a DTS student of mine. Woo! Okay. So Elena did her DTS with me in Amsterdam many, many years ago. Okay, now Elena and some other members of our team have been faithfully living in Mumbai, right, Indians? Yeah, those men, faithfully living in Mumbai. And they have tirelessly served all of South Asia, including Bangladesh, yeah? In addition to that, they just did a workshop in Indonesia. They did, I mean, this is a real champion, yeah, really. Okay, now she is moving from South Asia, from Mumbai to Brisbane, Australia. And so we're in a...
I hope that wasn't from the Australians booing.
I think that was the... Okay. And so Elena, so she's going to help us strengthen our efforts to serve the DTSs in Asia Pacific. And you know that's a huge region, yeah? But she's going to share a few testimonies.
Yeah, so I love this family. I just want to say my circle and our circle is great. And I think, Lauren, just hearing you share our history and this three prongs of who we are, evangelism, mercy ministry, and training, what I've seen together with Kima and Lala and the ones of us coming from South Asia, India, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Maldives Islands. We're just seeing such an integration, if I was to highlight one strength, an integration of evangelism, frontier missions, going to the unreached, and mercy ministries. And that's a real credit to people like Cindy Anderson, David and Marjorie Johnson. So we're seeing the DTSs rapidly going into unreached mega zones. I found out from speaking to David Hamilton, I didn't realize this, but a quarter of the omega zones are in South Asia. A quarter of the world's omega zones are in South Asia. We have been multiplying. We're at approximately, I can't keep up with it, around 120 DTSs operating in South Asia. But according to David Hamilton, there's many more omega zones to reach. So we really need help. But there's a real pioneering of DTSs dispersing around South Asia. If I could just quickly highlight one story, a real sister in the Lord, a hero of the faith. It's Bhavna. Can you just stand up, Bhavna, from Orissa? This is Bhavna. And you guys are just going to love on her more when you hear this a little just brief part of this amazing woman of God that I have so much respect for. In 2008, you may recall, there was real persecution. It's been in the past, but it really broke out in 2008 in the Kandhamal district of Orissa. About 500 Christians were killed, churches were destroyed, Christians were burnt alive. And Bhavna, along with her family, her friends, the Christians in the village, they fled into the jungle along with many other Christians that literally were fleeing for their lives. And for 15 days, without food, without water, Bhavna, without anything, were hiding in the jungles. And while Bhavna was there, she really sensed that the Lord, as she looked around at the despair and just all that was happening, she really sensed that the Lord was calling her to see the people of Orissa, the Oriya people, raised up and trained and just reaching out to the nations. And so together with Narendra Tiwari and others from the north of India, they started humanitarian work, bringing that mercy ministry focus of providing blankets, along with Jigu. Many other people were involved in that, in humanitarian work amongst the people there. But also that wasn't enough. She wanted to see people trained in the gospel, raised up to go out into the frontiers. And so together with many of our brothers and sisters here from India, she started channeling people from Orissa into the DTSs that were operating. And bases like Greater Noida in Delhi opened up, trained hundreds of people from Orissa in their DTSs. She also, together with other leaders, saw computer classes and training in equipping for vocational employment when they left from the community with YWAM. In 2008, she then, as a single woman, I don't think you were married just yet, she's now married, but she pioneered the base in Gopalapur in Orissa, and now they've successfully run their third DTS in Orissa, no, second. second DTS, about to start their third. Anyway, I'm not, anyone who knows me, details, you know. Anyway, so has run several DTSs. And now she has one of her leaders, Joyce, who also, we were so blessed, she did the MDM, Making Disciple Makers DTS training with us, is now going out from Bavna's base into the city of Puri to pioneer again another location in an unreached Omega Zone in Orissa. And so Bhavna, together with her husband and her team, they've seen about 500 young people trained, equipped, and raised up through the DTS. And just an amazing woman. So let's give her a clap. Yeah, stand up again, Bhavna. Stand up.
Okay, and just to continue to introduce, this is Kima. So Kima is in South Asia, yeah. And Kima is now stepping into the role of the coordinator for South Asia. So he's shifted from Elena and stepped into that role, yeah. So that's who Kima is. Lisa here, anybody know Lisa? Yeah. So Lisa has the coordinating role to serve our center in all of Europe, yeah? So she has been faithfully serving Europe for years and years, but she's actually got roots in Central Asia. Anybody here in that Central Asian area? Yeah. There you go. So she's our connection into your circles. Vicky here is our connection. Come step forward. So this is Vicky, and so she's in the United States, and she's our connection into all of the Americas with the exception of South America, yeah? So she connects with our team, who then connects with the others. So this is Vicky, part of the international coordinating team. Amos. Now, there's we're starting, and now that we're kind of changing the way we connect with one another, this is actually going to help us. So you know we have some thematic DTSs like compassion DTSs or justice DTSs or frontiers DTSs. And so we have room at our table to have, or even the strong worship stream that we kind of looking at Andy over there. So the strong worship stream that is flavors some of our DTSs. We have room around our table for a leader in those circles, to pull in. And so Amos is actually connecting or helping us pioneer our connection with Frontier Missions, and you guys know Amos, and Mercy Ministry. Okay, so so we'll be welcoming, we got everybody. One last story, Elaine, and then Dar's gonna come and pray for us. Elaine, if you could come up, or however you're gonna do this, yeah? So Elaine is also in the International DTS